Hi, this is Dave, Fellering Guide. Welcome to another navigation task. This one got a bit of a hypothetical situation that you've wandered across Kinder, which is this area up here to the northwest of the map, and you've been following a friend, not paying much attention to where you're going, and it's foggy, and then your friend stops and says that they're not sure whether they have brought you to this point here, A, or this point here, B. And the first thing to say is obviously you need to pay more attention and don't just run blindly following people, not get into that situation in the first place. But assuming you did, and we need to find a way of looking at the map, comparing A and B and seeing if we can work out where we might be, what the differences are. So at first glance, these two places look fairly similar. So if we look over to the northeast and the east, we drop down into a valley. If we look down to the south, then we can see that the ground gradually drops away. To the southwest, it drains down into a stream, both locations, and to the northwest it's back up onto higher ground. So looking at both of those, fairly similar, and we've said that it's bad visibility, so you might not be able to see too far. Obviously on a clear day you might be able to easily relocate just by looking into the valley below and picking something out. So what would we need to do? How could we work out where we are? We need to do something called relocating. So that is finding one or two features that can confirm where we are. Let's look at the map without these points on it to start with. Might make it a bit clearer. So what can we do? So we could, let's say we're going to walk due eastwards. So if we walk due east from there, we're going to hit this point where the ground drops away, and we can use something called aspect of slope. And that means, imagine you dropped a football and it bounced down the slope, it would cross the contours at 90 degrees. So if we hit the slope there, it's going the aspect of slope just north of east, whereas if we did it here, (90 degrees to the contours) is much more of a northeasterly direction. So that's one thing that would tell us we were at A rather than B, or vice versa. Another thing we can do is walk eastwards or just slightly north of east until we got to the top of the slope and then turn left. And if we got to the top of the slope and turn left and then found a stream and took a bearing on the stream running down just off north of east, we'd be there. If we walked along the top of the slope here, then there's no stream, so we couldn't be there. What we might do is walk along and find ourselves at the top of this crag here, which has an aspect northeasterly. The only crags we'd find if we continued on this side are these two little crags here, and we can see that those are both facing much more due east. So there's a difference there. Just show you the circles again. So if we were to go eastwards, hit the top of the slope and turn right this time, what would happen? Well, if we turned right and went up, up, up and found ourselves on the high point, we're either at this 601 point or similar on this 564 point. So if we got on the high ground and we looked, and if we were to look due east, if we're here, the ground just drops away straight away. If we're here and we go due east, then we're going down this little spur there, so the shape of the ground is quite a bit different there and there. What about if we were to head southwestwards from here, see what the ground looks like, and drop down into this stream? Well, if we were here and we headed southwest, we might hit this boundary line here, this fence or wall. So we might see that, and then just beyond that we've got that stream. If we did it from here, there's no boundary line, but we might find the head of the stream. So if we did that, let's just remove some arrows. If we found the head of the stream and we took a bearing on it, if the head of the stream is pointing just, let's say, 260 degrees, it's there. If it's facing much more southerly, then it's there. There's a big difference in the angle or the direction that those streams are running at the head of the stream. Obviously lower down the streams they head more in the same direction. So you could do that. What about if we went from where we thought we might be and we headed due west? Well, if we were at B, we'd be heading flat, 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 and then starting to drop steeply down. Whereas at A, you can see here we start to go uphill, and we'd encounter this rocky ground, these little crags and all these boulders. So again, there's a difference. That would let us know whether we're at A or at B. So there's quite a lot going on there, depending on which way you went. So relocating and looking at what we said in the first instance, quite important, this aspect of slope. If we were here, just to recap, if we were here and we took a compass bearing straight down the slope, the direction that a football would bounce if we dropped it, then that direction is northeast. If we found the top of the slope here and we drop the football, it is going to bounce much more easterly. So that is a big difference in aspect of slope. So there's a few different strategies you could use. Big thing is don't get lost in the first place, but learning to use those little strategies, different methods that you could use if you found yourself stuck in the fog somewhere. So those are your answers. I hope you found it informative. Look out for more of these navigation challenges. Thanks for watching.